Hey Leos, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your first half of September general reading here. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. Let's get right into your meditation. The first thing I saw was gold, as in gold dust, the kind of gold dust that would go on the skin. I was taken to both ancient Egypt and also the Persian Empire. It felt like I was seeing someone in a position of power and authority who there was a sense of like wearing this gold dust on the skin. And so anyone that touched you or left a mark, it was very noticeable. I heard and saw an eagle come and fly and sit on, the Leo collective shoulder. Eagles are about seeing the big picture very clearly, clear sight. It's that swords sort of energy, but it's also a wheel of fortune sort of energy where the wheel is turning. There is a midst of change, but it feels like you are in the seat of power around the changes that are happening and coming up for you. I also saw the book, The Alchemist. I saw pyramids, again, was taken right back to ancient Egypt. I think that there's a sense of, I'm seeing a triangle. Here are the three parts. Power, balance, order. Power, balance, order. All right, let's see what's going on for you guys. Woo! First half of September. Leo's very strong energy. It feels like an energy of journeying. I feel like some of you guys are soul journeying, like actually soul journeying, doing shamanic work, or journeying in a way where it's like you're journaling and really sitting with yourself and figuring out exactly what balance is for you. What is your personal seat of power? That's what I keep wanting to say. Seat of power, right? You have this starfish here, which, look at that goldness. Really love that. Listen, starfish equates to the lover's energy, which is about choices and love, but it's also about a union of the inner and outer aspects of yourself. This also equates for me to Aquarius energy as well, which is about elimination, great hope, great love, wish fulfillment, all of that good stuff. The fact that I was taken to ancient Egypt, if you think about how they would have navigated in the nighttime, would have been by the stars. And this gold here, there's something to that. The starfish is also about the physical appearance of things, how things look, how they appear to be. I feel like you are digging beneath the surface. Quite literally, I see you digging beneath the surface of how things appear and really wanting and being willing to go deeper. And again, I do feel like it's like your seat of power. And gold. Gold. Gold is a sought after metal, but it's also something that is movable. It scratches, you can bend it, you can mold it to be what you want it to be, right? With the right intention and power, right? So we have the Five of Cups here. So listen, you guys are at the tail end of my readings for this round. I have one more after y'all. This Five of Cups has come up in almost every single reading. So this is a collective energy that's going on, right? The Five of Cups is very much about, it's a mourning of loss. It's taking the time to go, okay, I release you. 3 cups that have spilled and are no longer mine. I release you. And after I release you, I'm going to flip around this way and carry on with these 2 cups that are mine. Gold cups here, by the way, right? 5 being the number of change. I do feel like there is this sense of sitting in the seat of your power, on the back end of this change, right? So I do feel like you're coming out of this time in a position of authority and power and divine placement. But there's also this sense of you are not the same person that you were before, and you're not really willing or wanting to accept things at face value any longer. That feels like a significant shift that has happened within and around and for you. You might even be looking at your surroundings, your relationships, your friendships, where you live, how you live, and going, what is my relationship to this? What does it look like versus what does it feel like? Because the starfish is also water energy too, which is about emotions and intuition, right? What does it look like and what does it feel like? Do those two things line up and match up? That feels very important. Wow, so you have the 5 of Swords here. Wow. So I'm really drawn back to the seat of power aspect as well, because there is this sense of, you know, listen, you have a 5 for a 5. These are 2 numbers of change back to back here, right? Now, on one hand, traditionally the 5 of Swords is, you know, success that is acquired by less than integrity-based means, right? Being willing to do whatever you got to do to get where you're going, and it doesn't really matter at whose expense that happens at, right? But there's a sense here for y'all, I feel like with this 5 of Swords, where, again, because I'm really drawn to the fact that there are these cups that spilled, right? And then there are these crows dead on the ground here, right? But there are 2 flying above. So there are 2 cups remaining and 2 crows that live to see another day, right? I feel like you were cutting out what doesn't work, but in order to cut out what doesn't work, you're actually seeing things very clearly. And you're making these necessary edits. You know, heavy lies the head that wears the crown. I'm hearing that. Okay, Leo, King of the Jungle. These are necessary edits, maybe some that have been coming for a long time. This could also be about you. Looking at yourself and going, this stays, this goes, what's my relationship to this, why, all of that stuff, right? Ace of Cups, speaking of feeling, I absolutely love this. I love that this is showing up in your 3rd future energy placement, okay? Ace of Cups is a lot of intuitive insight. It's also self-care, self-awareness, self-love, right? Again, I'm drawn to the 2 here. We have 2 more crows here, right? 2 does seem to be a significant number here. 2 being the number of partnership, right? I feel like some of you guys are in a successful partnership where you guys are like, yeah, I'm doing this with the support of this other person. Wonderful. Others of you, this divine partnership and party of 2 is like what I said with the Lover's Key. It's that union of inner and outer aspects of yourself. You know, also these lotus flowers, you know, I always say about these lotus flowers that they come up from the muck and the dirt and the excrement, and they look beautiful on top, but underneath it is a stinky, slimy sludge, which is a metaphor for what it takes to come out on top looking this way and appearing this way. I'm also drawn to the fact of how something appears versus the reality of things, because this appears to be beautiful and spotless and gorgeous and wonderful, but what it's actually connected to underneath isn't quite so pleasant. Does the outer appearance match the reality of something? And do your insides match your outsides? Do your outsides match your insides? There's something to that. I feel like there's also this specific focus on the body or the physical form. You could be, you know, working on your physical form, whether you're working on becoming more flexible or strong or healthy or whatever have you, but there's something about self-care maintenance in that aspect. It could even be emotional self-care as well. Some of you guys could be involved in work that requires a little extra self-care, right? 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups to clarify the 5 of Cups. Love it when this happens. So, I mean, we already talked about this technically. I feel like this is just hammering the point home. I will say, I feel like I'm getting a message around this. They're wanting me to add these up together. 5 cups plus 5 cups equals 10 of cups, equals emotional happiness and fulfillment. I feel like as you release these aspects of yourself or those around you, or mourn what has gone and been and changed, right? Maybe even the older aspect of you that no longer exists, right? That's making room and setting up the path for an, extension of your already existing 10 of Cups, or for the formation of your 10 of Cups. I feel like some of you guys have lost some friends or have, said we're no longer aligning. I've gone through an awakening. I've gone through a shift. I've gone through a change, and it feels different now. There's something about that, but there is a sense of saying goodbye. Knight of Wands here to clarify the 5 of Swords. This is really interesting. I'm going back to the seat of power. So this ostrich here, the reason that its head is that low is it does that as a defense mechanism against predators. So that predators from far off only see this part of it. And it goes, what is that, a big rock? Nothing to see here. Moving on, right? So it's interesting because it does that as a defense mechanism, but at the same time, it's ready to run. Its legs are incredibly lethal, which is why I think it's brilliant. This shows up as the Knight of Wands, which is a fast, forward-moving fire energy like yourself. Actually, this is the first and only fire that's come up in your reading. It is the Knight of Wands. Now, traditionally, I want to say, I saw pyramids in Egypt, right? Traditionally, the Knight of Wands is shown riding through the desert with pyramids behind him. Pyramids, indeed. For me, pyramids present, like I said, that balance, that mind, body, spirit, that, trifecta, Pythagoras, triangle realness, right? But I'm also getting this prism, how things appear versus how they are again, but also history, ancestry, and that sense of where do I come from, who am I, where am I going, who do I want to be? There is that sense of this. But I do feel like there's this aspect of making cuts, releasing what is no longer of your energy and moving straight on along. But the interesting part about this is that I'm really drawn to the fact that this ostrich's head is down and it's kind of taking a moment. I feel like it's taking a moment of reverence to kind of go, I release you with love. Like Marie Kondo, I release you with love. Right? Do you bring me joy any longer? No? Okay, I release you with love. Okay? And again, this could be aspects of yourself as well. Because there is this permeating sense of self-awareness. Because I keep getting drawn to this king thing, king and queen. They're considered to be God embodied in human form. So they're very sure of themselves. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It feels like there's something to that for you. It feels like you're sure of yourself or approaching a place where you develop into that, surety, which is really nice. 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. Butterflies sitting there on top. Can I just point out the obvious here? 9 of Cups plus Ace of Cups. 9 plus 1 is 10 of Cups. Remember how we added them up together? 10 of Cups is complete emotional wish fulfillment. It's happy home and family. It's the rainbow after the storm. So I'm obsessed that this is coming up for you here. This fully formed butterfly here as well. It's a really beautiful testament as to what it takes to get here. Is if you think about all the stages of life that a butterfly goes through. It begins as the egg, it goes to the caterpillar, then it goes within its chrysalis, and then it turns to goo, and then it comes out the butterfly, right? So it goes through a lot, just like these lotus flowers. It goes through a lot of muck and goo to get to this fully formed, beautiful aspect of itself. There's also this sense of, the 9 of Cups is also about indulgence, having a lot of something, really partaking in those material and physical pleasures. And then we have this overflowing cup here too. So I do feel like this is a sense of, you're going to have a lot of love, a lot of pleasure, a lot of feel goods around this transition after you make room for this new energy, or it's at least going to make more room so that you can even more sit into and appreciate what you have that is emotionally fulfilling and pleasurable. Okay? Really beautiful. But don't rush the process. That I keep hearing, there's no need and there's no good that's going to come from rushing the process. Let's go ahead and get an Earth Oracle for y'all. For my Leos here. This Gemini energy of the starfish about this choices and love situation. Wait a minute, what was that? Oh my God, Desert Vision Quest. Yeah, I feel like that's for you. I'm going to pull another one organically. There's also this sense of making choices from a place of self-love as well. That tends to make things a little easier sometimes, right? When you're having to make cuts or changes, it goes, well, what choice am I going to make from self-love? If I know that I'm always going to have who and what I need, what choices am I going to make? Beautiful. So we have Desert Vision Quest and Forest Breath. Forest Breath Desert Vision Quest. I'm really drawn to the quiet, the silence, the stillness of these two energies, right? What's really interesting here too is I feel like you're going into this place of edits and change, right? Where you might be without water for a little bit, right? You've lost 3 cups full of water here. Well, with them together, 6 cups, right? And then you move into this place where suddenly there's a deluge of a lot of water and you get the forest and you're able to have a good long breath, right? There is that feeling here because there's all this water here and I just want to water this forest or water this desert and produce a forest out of it. So I feel like this is where you are and the forest is where you're going, where at which point you'll be able to breathe really easily, right? Because it can be hard to breathe out in the desert in the intense heat, right? It's really beautiful here. I feel like you are heading towards some beautiful hydration and intuitive insights and help and love. It's really, really beautiful. Bop, bop, bop. All right. Gorgeous and wonderful Leos. Wow. This was cool. This is really beautiful, you guys. This is your first half of September general reading. I so hope that this helped and resonated with you. If so, please do let me know in the comments below. I'm so excited to hear from you guys and hear what y'all been up to and into. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so, so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.